Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we got a 2014 Nissan Altima behind us. This thing has around 95,000 miles on it. Customer called me and said the battery died overnight and he had to jump start it and start it up. And then after that, the car was running good. He parked it in his garage overnight. Same thing the next morning, the battery was dead. He tested the battery and the battery came out good. And then he noticed that his brake lights were on and they wouldn't turn off, and that was the source of the battery issue. So what we're going to be replacing today, which is a very common failure in these cars, is going to be the brake switch. So before we begin, guys, I just do want to mention, if you guys haven't subscribed down below, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you guys can get all my videos on your feed, and that definitely helps the channel grow. So let's go ahead and replace this brake switch. So just to show you guys what's going on here, as you guys can see, there is nobody in the car. But if you look at my garage door there, you can see that the brake lights are clearly on. If you see this happening to you, it's usually a brake switch failure. That's the #1 cause of it. And I'll show you guys how to replace it right now. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what to look for when this happens. So in order to gain access to your brake switch, you're going to have to basically get in the driver's side. That's where it's located. And this video is going to be very difficult to show you guys, but our brake switch, I believe here, because I haven't crawled down, is right here, if I'm looking at it correctly from the camera. And it's quite simple to replace. It's not really that difficult. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and grab the new part and show you what it looks like. And I'm going to try to position the camera down here so you guys can see me removing it and reinstalling it. However, this video is going to be pretty difficult to capture it without me getting in the way, guys. So I'll do my best with it. So I have you guys on the bench and we're looking at the new switch here. And it's quite simple, guys. The way this works is this attaches to the brake pedal assembly either via a clip or a threaded nut on here. And typically what happens is when your brake pedal is fully released, this is normally pushed in. And that'll basically turn off your brake lights. And as you basically push your brakes in, it'll release and it'll trigger the lights to come on. It'll activate them. What typically happens inside here, that spring gets weak and it allows for this to stay up in the contact points, or just something internally will just kind of go haywire in here and cause it to go bad. I'm not going to open up this new one, but on the old one, when I take it out, I will kind of show you guys what's inside. But for the meantime, our new one, I'm going to leave this intact, because if I break something, I'm going to have to order another part, which I definitely don't want to do. So let's go ahead and get set up on the car, and I'll show you guys how to replace this. Alright guys, so we are set up on the car. Now this is the best angle that I could get, and I will apologize in advance because my hand may cover this pretty easily because it's a very limited work area. So this is our brake switch right here, and we have a connector here that has a push style release clip. Now I'm going to try to use my knife to remove that clip so that way my hand's not in the way, but the way you want to do it is basically push back on this tab. Once you hear the click, just kind of pry upward, and that should remove the actual connector. Hopefully that was pretty clear for you guys to see. Now I'm going to go ahead and just kind of move the connector out of the way. To remove the brake switch, what you're going to want to do is grab it and basically spin it off counterclockwise, kind of like you're removing a bolt, and just get that out of your way. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and grab our new switch, and the way you install this is you basically push it all the way down. I don't know if you notice it has a little spring. You're going to want to basically hold the pedal up, push it all the way down, and then go ahead and lock it into place, just like that. And you want to make sure that the switch activates and deactivates accordingly. You don't want to set it too loose to the point where the brake lights are always on, and you don't really want to set it too tight to where you break the switch. So I find somewhere in the middle like that is perfect. Now once you have it positioned into place, you're just going to grab your wiring harness again, the one that you disconnected, and just go ahead and plug it back in. Alright guys, I apologize about that. I had a customer that came in, so the last clip got cut kind of short. But where we were at was, you go ahead and you reinstall your connector. We went ahead and reinstalled ours there. You want to make sure that you fasten all the way and clip it in. And be careful, because this can come off very easily. If you're trying to install the connector and it fights you a little bit, and you just move it a little bit this way, this will come off, and then you'll have to reposition the switch. So make sure that everything is nice and good before you you know, go ahead and drive the car. And what you want to do is test for the operation of your brake lights. Now I'm going to grab the camera here. Hopefully I don't make any of you guys woozy. And as you guys can see in the back there are no brake lights. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the brake lights with my hand, and you can see they activate. And you want to do this a couple times just to make sure that they are working correctly. And if the vehicle is off, also do have a reminder that when the engine's not running, the brake pedal does get pretty stiff, so you may just have to push on it. But I'm going to do this for a few times just to make sure that the switch is seated properly and in good working order. And once you do that, that pretty much concludes how to do the brake switch on it. Now I will show you a few things on the bench here on the old switch. We're at the bench with the old switch, and there's a few things that I do want to point out, guys. The way that Nissan makes these switches, there's only one way it can line up, because it does have an alignment dowel here. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it because the light's on the camera. Let me go ahead and turn off the light on the camera. Maybe you'll be able to see it better. But you can see you have your little ridge here. It's like a little half circle. It's an alignment tab, so there's only one way you can really push this in and thread it. And you want to be careful because the thread's into plastic. You don't want to go ahead and honk it on there. It will wind up breaking itself. So you want to be very careful with that. So now that we have the old switch out of here, what we're going to do is go ahead and just open it up and let's see what failed. And it's quite easy now. It doesn't really matter what's inside here or if we break it, because we already went ahead and replaced it. We know that this one was bad. So we're just going to lift up on these tabs. And as you will see in there, all there is just this little pin with little contacts. Now if I lift up on this, I should be able to get this out as well. And if you kind of examine it here, you can tell this thing was on for a while. You see you got a little bit of a burn mark about right there. On the insides here, you can actually see, I don't know how well the camera picks that up, you can see all the wear on there. So basically this just failed, just due to contact points, and over time it just failed on its own. So that's fairly simple enough. That's how you replace a brake switch on a Nissan Altima, guys. Now, this style of brake switch, like I mentioned earlier, is used across a lot of lineups of Nissan, even Infinitis, because it's just a sister company of Nissan. So you can actually replicate this on quite a few Nissan Infiniti models. I'm sure there's other models out there that will use it as well, or something similar to this. But for right now, Nissan Infiniti, these are how they're doing them, at least for these years. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. If you like the video, please comment, like, and subscribe. It definitely helps the channel grow. And with that said, hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll catch you guys on the next repair. That's how you replace a brake switch on a Nissan Altima, guys. Now, this style of brake switch, like I mentioned earlier, is used across a lot of lineups of Nissan, even Infinitis, because it's just a sister company of Nissan. So you can actually replicate this on quite a few Nissan Infiniti models. I'm sure there's other models out there that will use it as well, or something similar to this. But for right now, Nissan Infiniti, these are how they're doing them, at least for these years. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. If you like the video, please comment, like, and subscribe. It definitely helps the channel grow. And with that said, hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll catch you guys on the next repair.